أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله والحمد لله الذي جعلني من أمتي سيد المرسلين خاتم النبيين طه وياسين أحمد محمود أبو القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد
ومن المحبين عترة الطاهرين لعنة الدائمين من الآن إلى يوم الدين على أعدائهم أما بعد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون صلوات Mu'mineen, as we heard these heart-rending words, as we come towards this end of the days of Azhar, the tears that we have shed, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept those tears. Because Mu'mineen, those tears have indeed much value. These tears are not in vain. These tears are a tribute to the Shuhada of Karbala and those who are left after Ashura. And in particular, we pay tribute today to Akila Bani Hashim, Alima Ghair Muallima. This is the appellation of Zainab Salamullahi alayha. I like to quote Shaheed Ustad Mutahari on the value of tears. He said, or he wrote, that the value of this tear that you shed has immense value. Why? Because he writes that if these tears in your soul is aligned with the spirit of Aba Abdullah, then that is a spiritual journey that you're making with Imam Hussain alayhi salam. What could be a greater honor for us that these tears that we shed take us to that level of spirituality which only the Aimma alayhi salam can take us, no one else. So based on that, I have a small nazm for you in Urdu कि अज़ादारों की आंसुओं की कीमत क्या होगी. It is little long, but tonight is a night for tears. And I will cut my lecture short, but I believe that these heart-rending words are worthy of the tears of Mu'mineen, so we realize the blessing that we have in these tears. अर्ज क्या है कि गुलूए मौलाना इजाजत गुलूए शह पे खंजर है शहादत और क्या होगी. गुलूए शह पे खंजर है शहादत और क्या होगी. बकाए दी किता महशर जमानत और क्या होगी. मुबारक हो हुर को आना खिदमत सरदार जन्नत में. नहीं है अगर ये जन्नत तो जन्नत और क्या हो. शबीह मुरसल शबीह मुरसल शबीह अहमद मुरसल जवां बेटा चला मरने शबीए अहमद मुरसल जवां बेटा चला मरने, अरे हदे सब्र हुसैन की वजाहत और क्या होगी। सिपुर्द मौत ज़ैनब कर रही है अपने अकबर को, सिपुर्द मौत ज़ैनब कर रही है अपने अकबर को, रहे हक में शिकस्ता दिल की हिम्मत और क्या होगी। ज़ईफी में जवां बेटे की मैयत बाप लाता है, ज़ईफी में जवां बेटे की मैयत बाप लाता है, अरे रिजा और सब्र की अल्लाह ताकत और क्या होगी। कटे बाजू हुआ सरशक गिरे अब्बास घोड़े से, कटे बाजू हुआ सरशक गिरे अब्बास घोड़े से, वफा के नाज करने को उखुवत और क्या होगी। पिदर के हाथ पर दम तोड़ता है हंसरियों वाला, पिदर के हाथ पर दम तोड़ता है हंसरियों वाला, आए जमीने करबला बता कि कयामत और क्या होगी। शहादत को तवज्जो चाहता हूं मोमिनीन, ये हमारी बात हो रही है कि शहादत को अगर पूछो जबानी याद है, लेकिन शहादत को अगर पूछो जबानी याद है, लेकिन भुलाया हमने मकसद, हाय तो गफलत और क्या होगी। वो मकसद जिस पे हो कुर्बां रूहे जाने पैगंबर, द पर्पस द विजन, वो मकसद जिस पे हो कुर्बां रूह जाए पैगंबर, न हो उस पे अमल तो कबाहत और क्या होगी। वो मकसद जिसके बायस सर दिया फर्जंद ज़हरा ने, आखिरी अल्फाज, वो मकसद जिसके बायस सर दिया फर्जंद ज़हरा ने, उसी मकसद से हम भागे, सफाहत और क्या होगी। मोमिनीन, this is the value of tears as we understand it. Tonight we give tribute to Bibi Zainab Salamullahi alayha. When Imam Hussain alayhi salam had given his qurbani, it is Bibi Zainab who takes over. She stands there alone. When the tents have been burnt, and she's looking at the burnt embers in the morning, and now it appears that all the load of that leadership falls upon Bibi Zainab Salamullahi alayha, as she guarded the Imam of the time during his sickness. This was an important call. This was resilience, that having seen all the shuhada give their lives, she stood tall. This was the kamal, this was the epitome of a human being to be as resilient as she was. The ayah that I began with, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran that we have created insan in the best of molds. This is our sharaf. And Karbala showed at every point as to give tribute and to give proof to that idea of ahsani taqweem, the best of molds. And here was Bibi Zainab showing us a way to be indeed the best of molds. Just want to focus on one item only, and inshallah we will finish and we will hear the Masahib from Maulana Sahib, because tonight is night for crying. Tonight is not a night for long lectures. We all want to cry, because these tears, as I said, have value. Bibi Zainab Salamullahi alayha showed extraordinary resilience in the face of the most difficult of circumstances. And I just want to define from a sociological and a psychological perspective the whole idea of resilience. What does resilience mean to a human being? There are three things. Firstly, is physical resilience. We all go through trials and tribulations. Our bodies weaken. We are sometimes unable to stand. We are sometimes unable to bear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises in the Holy Quran that He does not bear any burden beyond what a human being can bear. This is a promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He will not give us trials and tribulations beyond what we can bear. Imagine such an empowering statement this is, that before the pain, you're given the ability to bear the pain. Before the sadness, you're given the ability to be patient. This is a promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran. Bibi Zainab showed us in every way that whether it was physical resilience, as Maulana Sahib mentioned yesterday, the road from Kufa to Sham to Karbala and back to Medina was not an easy one. Even today, to travel on those roads, or even when we fly, these are not easy travels. Imagine the physical resilience that was needed by Bibi Zainab and all those who were with us. So that is an aspect of physical resilience that we learn, that when trials and tribulations come, we must be reassured that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the ability to bear that physical discomfort. And it is that physical resilience that was shown by Bibi Zainab Salamullahi alayhi. And then you have emotional resilience. Emotional resilience, having seen the Qatl-e-Aam in the plains of Karbala, having given her own sons, having seen the Shahadat of Ali Akbar, having seen the Shahadat of Qasim, having seen the Shahadat of all those, Ali Asghar, Bibi Zainab bore it. Yes, she wept, because it is human to cry, but she did not allow it to defeat her. This is emotional resilience, that when we are going through trials and tribulations, Mu'mineen, Karbala is a lesson. Within Karbala is the entire Quran. If you're going to watch and see the lessons that we learn. Even post Karbala, we've been talking about the Tawabun, that the idea is that even after doing what they did, betraying Imam Hussain alayhi salam, they came back with a real tawbah and they gave their lives. Emotional resilience can solve many societal problems. Only we were to cultivate and take lessons from Bibi Zainab Salamullahi alayha. And last but not the least, it is spiritual resilience. This is the height of it all. To be resilient spiritually, to be able to speak truth to power. And when Yazid confronts her, she says, I see nothing but beauty. A soul who is able to stand up and say that, speak truth to power in the way that she did, shows the level of the spirituality in each person, each of the Shaheed and post Ashura. All those who remained behind gave testimony that indeed Allah has created insan in the best of molds. And this is what we need to understand. Mu'mineen, before I conclude, I am going to keep this very short today. Before I conclude, resilience does not mean that we become immune to the pains of others. We just heard the Majlis from our brother Hussein, the hadith to Abu Dhar Ghaffari, in the sense that leave some time, for others, or like for others what you like for yourself. This is the golden rule that is prevalent in every faith. Well, if we were to leave a little time for others, the idea, as he said, of voluntarism, there is also another aspect: to feel pain for the oppressed. Imam Hussein al-Islam left Medina, as he said, for the Islah of the Ummah of his grandfather. By that, what he meant was he wanted to restore social justice. He wanted to restore the dignity of human beings. Today, when we see in Gaza the dignity of human beings being taken away, history, we've been talking about history. In history, as we said, can be understood through personalities, through events, and ultimately through the essence. The other dimension of history is that history is a witness. History is a witness to the events that take place in every era. I say to this audience and others, whoever is listening, that history will be a witness of this time, when a whole people are being destroyed and there is genocide going on. History will judge to say that Saudi Arabia and others had all this oil underneath the soils, and yet the ambulances in Gaza could not have gas to move to take patients. When so much food is being distributed in festivities while the children in Gaza go hungry. History is watching. History is judging. And like we said earlier on, that there was that night in Kufa where a father and a son were having a conversation. And the son asked the father, who had sat behind, to say, "Baba, why did you not go to Karbala?" The father had no answer. The only answer the father could give, that he joined the Tawabun, the penitents, and went and gave his life to be redeemed. This is a state where Egypt has the Nile and Gaza goes hungry. Gaza goes thirsty. This is the indictment of history on the present society. I need not say more. समझदारों के लिए इशारा ही काफी होता है as to what the responsibilities and the duties are. The Muslim nations have millions of soldiers. Not a single soldier went to defend those who are being slaughtered. The apathy of the world. When Rwanda happened, the world perhaps did not know. The media was not as active. Today, what excuse anyone has, including ourselves, Mu'mineen. And I'm sure that here, Mu'mineen are doing whatever they can, and they should, to be able to alleviate in whichever way that we can. It is like that lizard. Sometimes we feel, what can I do? I'm a single person, what can I do? Well, that lizard which was trying to cool the fire of Namrud was asked to say, what difference is it going to make? And the lizard replies that on the day of judgment, I will say, Ya Allah, I tried. This is what our duty is. As we cry upon Hussein, we said that if these tears are to raise and be aligned with Imam Hussein alayhi salam in the spirit of our Abdullah, then we too must care, that we too must feel, that we too must do whatever we can to see that this atrocity that is being committed when the world is silent, we cannot be indicted by history. We will be asked. Because while history will ask, 50 years on, people will ask. A grandson may ask his grandfather to say, Granddad, what did you do? But the ultimate test will be on the day of judgment. That we will be asked to say, what did you do? When all the shuhada had given their lives, and Bibi Zainab salamullahi alayha remained alone with looking after the kafala. Perhaps she may have remembered a dream that she had had earlier as a young girl. And she asked the tadbir of that particular dream to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. She explained to the Blessed Prophet that I had this dream where I was falling down a tree and I was trying to hold on to the branches and the twigs. And as I was falling, my eyes opened. And Rasulullah said that the tabir of the dream, the essence of the dream is that the trunk is me. And the branches are Ali and Fatima, salawatullahi alayhi. And the twigs that you see are Hassan and Hussein alayhi salam. And he said that the essence of the dream is that we will all go before you and you will see us all go. Imam Hussein alayhi salam was last of that twig, and that too fell. She must have remembered that dream. Mu'mineen, let us just take ourselves to Medina ultimately. And I will not complete the journey to Medina, Maulana Sahib will do it for us. But just to say, as they enter Medina, Bibi Zainab salamullahi alayha says, oh Medina, do not recognize me. Oh Medina, Zainab, who had left with the kafila, had Abbas with the alam, had Ali Akbar, who reminded us all of the Blessed Prophet. We had Qasim, and she must have remembered all those to say that I have come back to Medina. What I have left with, what I have come back with Medina is the loss that we have. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Al-Fatiha.
मरने से पहले आना दीदार